What's up, guys? Are you guys ready for a little bit of honest talk right now? I'm Kenny Stahl, in case you don't know who I am. Right now I want to share with you guys a little bit about how I've always hated myself in my life. To this day I struggle with self-esteem issues, but the more I think about it, the more I realize that this is something that has always existed for me. It's not something brand new. So what I want to do is I want to talk about that, and I want to use this as an opportunity for you to actually think about yourself in your life for a moment. And perhaps you want to share with me something about, your experience with self-hatred, maybe why you might hate yourself, why you might struggle with your self-esteem, what you don't like about who you are. For me, I've just never been happy with me. I've never been proud to be me. I've never felt good about who I am. And this is something that's always been. So yeah, I mean, like, the whole idea of thinking like I hate myself is you are your biggest critic. No one out there can ever judge you more harshly, more critically than what you do. And what goes on in our minds is we have this inner voice. We have this inner dialogue that we constantly have running. And it's interesting because you can actually watch yourself think something. You can actually observe a thought come into your mind. And a lot of times those thoughts really, we really attach ourselves to those thoughts, and we really go with them, So the inner voice sometimes says something like, I'm ugly, or I'm stupid, or I'm worthless. And, this is something that I've dealt with. I have always felt like I need to be somebody, a particular version of myself, So, I've always struggled with social skills. I've never been able to make friends very easily. I've never been able to get along with people well. I have always, just throughout my whole life, like as a kid, as a teenager, whatever. And because of that, like, I've always hated myself because it's like, I want to be really outgoing. I want to be somebody that people like. And I know one of those things is like humor. So if I could be a funny guy, I know people would like me more. It's like I try to tell a joke and it's just the stupidest joke I could ever say, and I'm like, why can't I just be funny? Like, why can't I just be this? Or why can't I be attractive and in certain ways? And regardless of whether I actually am, like, maybe you think I'm funny or maybe you think I'm attractive, that's great. But, whether or not someone else thinks that I'm a cool person, or whether or not somebody else thinks that I'm a great individual, if I don't believe it, if I don't think that I'm good enough in my life, if I don't feel good about who I am, if I'm not happy with myself, if I continuously hate who I am, then I'm going to be living a life of misery. So this is something that you should really take into consideration, is kind of like, what do you think about that idea? Like, you ultimately have to love yourself. You ultimately have to be able to overcome this self-hatred. I mean, everybody else can tell you that you're a cool person. Everybody else can say that they like you, but you have to listen to that. Like, you don't have to base how you feel about yourself on what other people think, but you should at least consider the fact that maybe you're being too harsh on yourself. And this is something that I have to think about, because I deal with this. A lot of times I try to, like, give advice, and usually it's just because I need that advice myself. So that's basically kind of what I go through, and I've been learning a lot more to really pay attention to when I begin to think something negatively, and to be able to replace that negative thought with one that's more realistic and more kind of more of a nuanced view on who I am, and not just listen to those bad negative thoughts and take them for everything. So what is the opposite of self-hatred? I really thought about this, and the reason why you might hate yourself is because you feel like you're not good enough. So there's this need to be perfect. There's this perfectionist idea here when we think about how you feel about yourself. And a lot of times that self-hatred is what is driving you to want to learn more and improve yourself. For instance, if you're a guy and you feel like you hate yourself because you don't think you're attractive to who you want to be attracted to, then you might use that self-hatred as kind of like a motivating device, as something that's like, well, I'm gonna prove to myself that I can get a girlfriend, or I'm gonna prove to myself that, you know, I'm good at whatever, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm trying to make stuff up right now. If you're a girl, like, and you feel, a lot of girls are like really conscious of their appearance, their physical looks, their beauty, and doesn't matter how good looking you are as a female, like most of the women that I've met in my life, all of them just do not feel like they are attractive. Like none of them. Like literally none of them. I think guys too. I think it's a human thing. It's not just a like a gendered issue, but it's interesting, to kind of think about how everybody feels like they're not good enough. So there's this idea of perfectionism that we feel like needs to be attained, and the opposite of self-hatred is self-acceptance. To be able to look at yourself just the way you are, with all of your flaws, all of your imperfections, all the things that you feel like you aren't very good at, all the things that you think need improvement, to be able to look at yourself and accept yourself as being imperfect, that is the only way, really, in my opinion, to change how you feel about yourself. I should say that's like what the end result would be idealistically. If you could love yourself no matter. I don't know if if I'm making any progress on that, but I strive for that in my, like, I keep that in mind as I live my life, that I'm not perfect and nobody's perfect, and that's a comforting idea. So I kind of want to know what you think about this. Like, I just know that I've always hated myself throughout my whole life, and that's kind of what has driven me to talk about things the way that I do right now. That's what's driven me to make these videos, and I have several videos on this channel where I talk about how much I hate myself, and you can probably go check them out if you want to. But this is something that I'm very curious to look at, because we have all these negative thoughts, we have this perception of ourselves, and I just know that so many people just do not feel good about who they are, they're just not happy with themselves, and I've always hated myself, and it's something that continuously lives on inside of me. And I know that the problem with this, the danger to it, is that if you let this get the best of you, it can lead to possibly you giving up on yourself and not working hard on improving yourself, or it could lead to some sort of a destructive mindset where you seek to hurt yourself or sabotage your life, or just stop trying, and that in itself is kind of a way to sabotage yourself. So my hope is that you will have more of a realistic look, a realistic view of who you are, and accepting yourself as having flaws and moving forward from that point. So I don't really have much more to say about this. I just wanted to make a video and talk about this concept of self-hatred, and the opposite of it is self-acceptance, and kind of put that in your minds. And also, this is a good opportunity if you are currently struggling with your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. I'm willing to listen, so leave a comment and let me know kind of what you've been through in your life, because I think that this is something that is not unique to just a few people. I think that this is something that is actually like a huge issue that like almost everybody deals with, but we just all deal with it on our own individual way, and that's kind of why it might feel like you're alone. So, but you're not alone, and that's why I'm willing to talk about this, because I know that I'm not the only one who feels this way, and that makes me feel a little bit better. So I'm working on it. I've been aware of this for a while, and yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please make sure that you click that subscribe button. I upload frequently, a video every week or more. And that's it, guys. See you next time. Give the video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. So, love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.